Hey guys, welcome to my guide for the new quest that was released today, The World Wakes. To start off, I'm going to go over the requirements of the quest. The only actual requirement to start and complete the quest is 140 combat level, which is not a big deal at all, especially for a grandmaster quest. However, it is recommended to have 90 prayers, 70 slayer, and 74 fire making, as you'll get the extra XP as you can see on the screen. If you have 90 prayer, you get 250k XP. It's a pretty good reward, and then you can see the other XP rewards for the other skills. And then also, if you've completed Ritual of the Maserati and the Chosen Commander, you can get a ring which has the stats of an Onyx Ring Eye, and it's completely free and it's untradeable. However, those quests are like super hard to do. You'd have to do like every quest in the game in order to complete Ritual of the Maserati, and so it is probably likely you don't have that. However, if you do complete this quest without these requirements, you can go back and get the rewards later on when you have the skills and when you have Ritual of the Maserati and the Chosen Commander done. So don't wait to do this quest. Do it soon, because it's like, for me, it was the most fun quest I've done to date. I mean, it was just such a great quest, so fun, so worth the XP. So yeah, let's get into the guide. To start the quest, go to the already lodestone and run north by the farm patch, and then you're gonna run north, and then you're gonna see like the farm patch, and then you're gonna want to head east until you come up to this area. You can't miss it. I mean, it's like a big freaking hole in the ground. How could you miss it? Then talk to Orlando Smith, and for this part of the quest, all you're gonna need is some range armor, because you're gonna be killing Kriara, the God Wars boss, and then you're gonna need some food and possibly some prayer. However, you won't need very much of either. And I also recommend bringing a melee weapon, because there's also some other things you're going to kill and they're a bit harder. So after talking to Orlando Smith, open the door here. As you can see, it's pretty dramatic. There's a lot of cutscenes in this quest, and they're all really well done. As you can see, the area looks super cool. I mean, the graphics, Jagex is like, I really think their graphics are good, especially after playing 07 for a while. So anyways, once you get into this room, you're going to need to search around at the objects until you get one that opens the door. Now there's like 5 objects in the room. There's an obelisk in the north east corner. There's some papers in the southeast corner. There's a sword at the center north wall, and there's some papers in the middle, and then there's a wall at the south one. And that happened to be the one for me that opened the door. It's random for each person, so just search all of them. And then once you do that, run through here, and you're going to want to click on this thing. I don't even know what it is. It's just weird. Click on it, and Orlando Smith will say some things, and he's really like stupid. He just wants to explore everything, and he wants to do everything, and he's not careful at all, and you'll see later he gets through that. So if you want, follow the storyline, because it's a very good storyline, but for the sake of time, I just kind of skipped through it. Once you try to open this, and once you click through the chat screen, you'll see another cutscene, and this door will open up, and now he wants you to go through. You're a little bit doubtful, and then you'll go through. Once you go in, you'll stop. You won't be able to move. He'll follow you, and some guardians will jump out from the wall. There's like these big rock dudes. They're kind of weird looking. And so he's like, let's go. You'll see these things jump out of the wall. The guardians, they're level 120, but they're a heck of a lot harder than they look. All 3 of them will be attacking you at once. I've heard range works well on them. I just decided to use my dual rapiers, which, speaking of, they did buff dual wielding today. So if anybody has dual wielding weapons, they work good now. So this guy, will start talking to him. He'll die. He'll get 1 hit, and he won't be there for the rest of the quest. Just spoiler alert. And they think you're a Maserati, so just kill them. I recommend turning on Soul Split if you have it, because it's by far better than anything else. And don't be afraid to eat, because don't underestimate these guys. Their defense is low, but they can hit pretty dang high at times. You see, you get these like wave attacks. They start hitting like 1400s. I switched to mage because I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. Ate a couple of sharks, but Soul Split is definitely better. And if you don't have that, then you're just going to consume a bit more food, but you should be fine. As you can see, the dual rapiers take care of them pretty well. They have low defense, but a pretty decent amount of life points. And then once you're done, you'll get yet another cutscene. The screen will turn purple, but don't worry about it. You're not in danger. And you'll see the shadowy figure. These ghosts will come out at you. Nothing will happen though, so don't worry about it. And you'll start talking to this guy. And now here, I don't think it really matters what you say. There's a lot of options, just kind of read through them. But it doesn't really matter what you say to the guy. Anyways, I'm going to skip through this chat screen until we get to the next part of the quest. Once you get far enough in the dialogue, you'll start to come to some more cutscenes. I thought I'd just show them really quick. Here, I don't know what this is, but all these cutscenes look really cool. You'll be in a castle now, and you're not in danger the whole time, but you'll see some Maserati. And if you care to hear about the storyline, then I recommend reading everything that they say, because it has a great storyline about Gothics and everything. But I skipped through it. And then here you'll go to God War's dungeon, and that's pretty much it. Zilliania will fly out of the hole, but that's it. And then after that, once you finish the dialogue, you come to another part of the quest, and now you get to do some fighting. Eventually you'll come to a part where the shadowy figure says, "Too late," and you'll see Commander Zilliania and Kriara pop down, and then Krill Tusatsaroth will just destroy the place. Zilliania will get mad, and she'll go off into the hole. Now, prepare to do some fighting. Equip your range gear, heal up a little bit, and you'll talk to Kriara. And after that, you tell her you can't leave, and she'll have to attack you. Turn on Soul Split in your range prayers, and start to attack her. Now, this isn't like a normal God Wars fight. As you can see, there's no minions or anything, but her life points is higher and her defense is higher. Now watch out for those tornado things, because they can do some damage. You should be fine just with your sharks and just through your soul split, but if you find yourself taking a lot of damage, step away from those things when she asks them to align to her. But other than that, it's just a typical fight, and you can get through it pretty quickly with a couple of thresholds, and then you'll be done. So after killing Kriari, you can go resupply if you need to. All you have to do is just tele out and then enter back into the tunnel. I recommend getting some prayer potions, as they'll be really useful later on. And other than that, you're just going to need some melee armor. And you'll come to a cutscene with this strange puzzle thing, and Zilliana and Krill Tusatsaroth will be there, but you'll just skip through that. After the cutscene, run to the east side of the puzzle and activate the device. You'll be confronted by a bunch of weird-looking Gothics followers, and they're not harmless. You won't be killing anything here, but you will have to solve this puzzle, and it looks very hard at first, but trust me, once you get the hang of it, it's very simple. So after the dialogue, click on the control panel again, and you'll be faced with this, and it's a very weird-looking puzzle. It looks very difficult at first, but once you get the hang of it, like I said, it's very easy. Basically, your objective is to get a boulder that comes out of every corner, so you've got 4 boulders in total, and you're trying to get them into the green hole, which is right in the middle of the screen now, as you can see. You're trying to get the boulder to roll through the path and go onto that. And you do this by rotating the tiles. Now, if you need help, Jagex released a help, like a guide on how to do it. It's just like a general path to follow. It doesn't give you the direct answer, but it is helpful. I will be posting a link to that in the description. And once you think you have a complete path, you're just going to need to let the ball roll. And if you're having trouble doing it, just kind of follow what I'm doing here. You're going to be basically just rotate the tiles so that you get a straight path to the green and black hole in the middle. Now the hole changes every time, and the location of the ball changes every time, so it's not the same every time. However, these results do work for every player, so like this is the definite answer if you just follow what I'm doing here. As you can see, I've got a path lined up now, and since I'm ready, I just click on the corner and it drops the ball. Now here, when the ball gets stuck in these holes like this, you need to time it so that the tile to the next part of it connects the path, so it does have some timing. And now you can see there that tile was not lined up, and so the ball blew up. So you just simply do it again until you get the proper results. And as you can see there, I timed it right, it goes through, and now it's going to hit this tile. Every time you roll over the yellow tiles, they change. And now here you've got a conveyor belt pretty much, and this time it's going backwards. So you put it on there and the ball changes directions, goes backwards, and blows up again. So now you've got to try it again. It took me 3 tries, but that's okay because it doesn't take hardly any time at all. Now you can see the conveyor belt will have switched directions here. So you're just going to release the ball again. You'll follow the conveyor belt, and now you've got a complete path. Here we've got another timing tile. So once it's switched, you click on it and you let it go, and you can see it's in the hole, and your first boulder is done. Now the second boulder is even easier than the first one. I managed to get this one done on my second try. This one is in the top left corner, and it's very simple. Like I said, it's going to go down and then back up. You're going to follow this path and just basically keep connecting the tiles so that you get a complete path. And as you can see, the hole's in a different spot this time, so you do need to plan that accordingly. I didn't really know what I was doing here since it was the day of release, so I was kind of experimenting a bit, but you get the basic idea of what you need to do. This one's going to go around into a big loop, and then you'll have it. So now I'm done. I release the ball, and you've got another timing thing here, which I screw up so it blows up, and that's okay because it's not really a big deal. You can release the boulder as many times as you need to. There we go, connected path, and now it just follows the path all the way through down into the middle. It's pretty self-explanatory once you get the hang of it. After a while you probably won't need the guide in the description anymore, because it's actually very simple. Just they added so many colors and details and crap that it looks harder than it really is. And here you go, and you've got the second boulder down. The third one is a bit tougher than the second one, but it's not that bad once you get the hang of it. In this one, instead of taking a straight path, you're going to have to do a little turn, as you can see here. It's not as simple, but overall it's still pretty easy. This one starts in the bottom left corner is where you start the boulder, and then as you can see the tile is in the center right. And you should have it set up a little bit like this. I'm pretty sure there's other possibilities to get it right, but this is whatever you come up with works. Just follow what Jagex has released in their guide and just kind of make it look like this, I guess. Here, instead of taking a risk and going for it, you should always be safe just to save time, and not risk having the boulder blow up. And then as you can see now, we're on a straight path. When you come to intersections like that, the ball always remains going in the same direction that it was going in before, so it's nothing to worry about. And now you have completed the third ball, and it's time for the last one. For the fourth one, for some reason I lost my footage of what I did to complete this one, but this one's in the bottom right corner, and it's actually fairly simple. It's easier than the third one. Just make it go straight up into the hole in the top right corner. It follows a pretty straightforward path, and if you just look at this every now and then, you should be able to get it, as it's very straightforward. And once you finish that, you will see another cutscene with Juna and all these Guthix dudes, and you'll go through the door, and you'll be ready to start some boss fights, which is pretty much what the rest of this quest is. But first, you've got another puzzle to do, although it's not as weird and hard as this one. Alright, so after the dialogue, you're going to go to this panel to the east, and you're going to click on it. Now, the goal here is to balance all of the 4 things: chaos, order, good, and evil. You want to balance all of them so that by the time you're done answering 4 questions, they're exactly the same. Now you're going to have to do this by reading the question and judging the answer. Now you may fail a few times like I did. I'm only showing the part that I actually did right, but that's okay because there's no punishment for it. And once you get the hang of it, you'll start to realize which questions do which. What I like to do is raise order and good one at a time, and then raise chaos and evil one at a time, and you're going to do each one twice until you finally do that. And then when you're done, you click continue, and now you're faced with another cutscene. Now here, make sure you have all of your weapons and armor and everything you need to start doing boss fights. You get this like green thing here, it looks pretty cool, but because after this it goes to the boss fights, and there actually is still yet another small sort of mini puzzle like thing that I'll show you in a second, but it's hardly any time at all, and it's not even required that you get it right, but I'll show you how to do that one in just a second. After another dialogue, you'll get this panel here. After talking to Junot, you'll be faced with this, and this is right before the boss fight. So like I said earlier, make sure you have everything now. Now what you're going to do is you're going to have to put each one of these groups of Guthix followers into a certain battle position. The way to do this is to read each the description of each group of Guthix guys, and then you're going to read the description of each enemy. As you can see I'm doing now, you do this by hovering over. Now this is the same for every player, because like you get the same combinations every time, but you're still going to need to use a little bit of judgment. It's not too hard. Now if you don't complete this, it's not that big of a deal. You won't get to start over though, so as you can see here, I put the 3rd group into the last one, but anyways, if you do this you get a bonus when you're fighting, so it is definitely helpful to do it the right way, but if you don't, then it's no worry, you just don't get the bonus. Now after reading this, the Chelder and Therisk, these weird looking dudes, you just read the description of everyone and put them in each place. I didn't really know what I was doing here, so I was kind of slow, but put Chelder and Therisk in the first group, and because they're good with the enemies that's there, and then you're going to put this weird looking dude there, and then you're going to put Death in the 3rd one. So it should look like that, but at the end you can use your own personal judgment. And now you're ready for the boss fights. After finishing assigning the positions of the Guthix followers, you're going to be faced with yet another cutscene, and pretty much everybody's going to be lined up in their battle position. Some of these cutscenes seem a bit unnecessary. They're kind of like just adding suspense, although the boss fights are not hard at all. You can bank after each fight just by tallying out, so if you need to, do that, but I was able to do the whole thing on like 5 sharks and 2 doses of prayer potion without any stat boosters or anything, so it's really not that hard. The ground will start to shake. Juno will say there they are, and now you're ready to fight the first boss, which will be General Ghidorah. After some more shaking, you'll notice it's coming through the first door, and the one that's to the west, just north of the middle thing. So make sure you go into there. There is actually a bank here, so forget what I said before. Just bank here by right-clicking on one of the druids. Now, once you're ready, you cannot replace your combat positions. The people that you assigned, you're stuck with them after you go in, which you'll see she warns you here. So click yes, I'm sure, let's go. And once you go in, you'll see it's General Ghidorah. Now, the dudes that you chose to help you, if you got it right, it will tell you in green letters at the bottom. I don't know what it looks like if you got it wrong, because I didn't get it wrong. But I'm assuming it's not that big of a deal. Now you've got these guys helping you fight. They'll take care of the smaller minions, and you just need to take care of Bandos. Now this isn't like a typical God Wars fight. He has more special abilities than just a standard kill, but since you're only going for 1 kill, it's fine to use more food. When he says Ghidorah smash, just click away, and watch out for those black things that fall on you. As you can see, they do some good damage. There's really not a ton you can do about it other than just eat and hope to not get hit. If you run away like I did, you should be fine. But if you keep moving, you'll be fine. And Soul Split for me seems to be perfectly fine. Just make sure you're eating and do as much damage as possible, and it's a pretty quick kill. Once you're done, he doesn't die. He actually stays and starts walking around, but you have to leave and go help in the main room, and then your friends will stay back and fight for you. I think the reason why all these people, you're killing all of them, is because they all want Guthix's power, and then you're trying to defend that because you're a good person, I guess, and because you want XP. You get a ton of XP, which you'll see later. The next one, this is not the right place that I went to. There's no if you go into the wrong place, it'll say there's no reason to go in here, because there's not. Before you go in, make sure you eat like a shark or two, and take a sip of prayer potion. It's easier than doing it when you go in. This next one is just to the right of the last hole that you were in, and this one is Zimmer, Gill, the Maserati dude. This guy's a bit harder than Gridor, but at the end of the day, they're all pretty easy. This guy is by far the longest and the most painful. You have to attack these portals first. And I didn't know that, so I went to attack him. But you'll see there's these purple portals to the east and west of the room you're in, and you're going to attack them. You have to destroy all of them, or until you do, he'll be invincible. And it's kind of a pain, because this isn't the only time you're faced with them. But they have relatively low defense, so you'll be healing a lot off Soul Split if you do have Soul Split. And you should be able to take them out fairly quickly. You'll be attacked by the other minions, but you won't be attacked by Zimmer Gill himself, because he's too busy doing that weird thing with his hands. You've got the dudes helping you, so it's really not too hard. The first time you've only got 2. Make sure you don't get smited and lose your prayer like I did, because I wasn't using a renewal. He says, "You cannot overpower me. I ran away, took some prayer potions," although it's not really needed. He has fairly high defense, and when you're being attacked by the minions at the same time, it's a bit harder, but it's really not that big of a deal. Now you'll get 4 portals, and this is just like really lovely. It's great. No, it's actually very terrible. But you can take all of them out after like 2 or 3 basics into Threshold, so it's not that bad. And you'll get 2 on both the east and west side, and don't do what I did and kill the skeletons there, because all they're going to do is come back. And so just slowly chip away at the portals, and keep your prayer up, keep your life points up, because dying's kind of embarrassing. I guess there's really no other reason than that. It's not really a huge deal. If you get an ultimate like I did, I definitely recommend saving it up to use on Zimmer Gill. But this was for me the last time I got any portals. If you kill him slowly, I think he'll spawn more, but you shouldn't have any problem doing it in less than 2 spawns of the portals. So save up your ultimate, and don't do what I did here. He's still invincible a few seconds after attacking the portal, after the portals are all down. So don't instantly run in and use your ultimate on him like I did. I used Massacre there, but he was still invincible. So you've got to wait a few seconds for him to stop doing the thing with his hands. He'll say some stuff, and now you can attack him. As you can see, he's got pretty high life points, but it's not that big of a deal. I recommend watching out for those portals on the ground. I'm assuming they can hit you for high damage. Of course, I ran over and attacked it. Oh, no, these portals you want to attack because they get rid of the, they make him stop spawning the invincibility portals. So just kill them if you can, but they are there for a while, so you won't have to kill too many of them. Now when you're done, you got to go back out into the main room, and you get another boss fight. There's 4 of them in total, but they're all pretty easy. This one is coming from the east, the southeast door. No, excuse me, southwest. They're all west, but it's the southern door just from the middle where death is standing. If you placed him in the right place, that's where death will be. Once again, you get the thing, but just say yes, let's go. This one is the Zammy boss, and you get like a werewolf and a Gorak and an ice or Pyrofiend in there, but they obviously don't do anything. So this is just a standard fight for the most part. Zammy is the easiest, I believe. Just like how he's the easiest in God Wars Dungeon, he's the easiest here. You won't be attacked by any of the minions, because Death will be taking care of all those for you. So yeah, just use your thresholds. You cannot stand against Zamorakian and Might. He will spawn like a spike in the ground. You need to get off that as quickly as possible, because it does 700 damage. You won't be able to avoid it completely, but once you see that, get off of it. Because you will get destroyed. So you can see there, I get destroyed a little bit. Make sure your life points are high so that you don't die from that. You may need to use a few sharks, but other than that, it's a pretty standard fight. By the time you're done killing him, by the way, if you are poisoned, it will go away. And the poison does like no damage at all anyway, so it's really nothing to worry about. And now you've got one fight left, and this one is an Akra, and an Akra sucks. Akra is probably the hardest, but make sure you have freedom on your action bar, because if you don't, you'll get destroyed. I mean, you still get destroyed anyways, but make sure you have plenty of food for an Akra, because she does have a special ability that does lots of damage. In this one, you just talk to her, she starts talking smack, talking about how powerful she is. And now she is a magic user, so if you chose the bosses or the guys that are resistant to magic and good against that, then that's the right one. Now she has a very small click radius for some reason, so just be aware of that. It's kind of hard to click on her. And other than that, it's pretty straightforward until you get to about 3/4 health. Also make sure you have a stun on your action bar, because you're going to need to stun her when she starts healing. You just give her a little kick. And occasionally your stun will still be respawning because you kill her so quickly. As you can see here, she's healing, but my kick is still recharging. And that's okay, because just keep doing damage. And now kick is recharged. Kick her again. It does 3k damage. Kick is such a good ability. And I got smited right as I used a good threshold, so don't do that. And now when she throws you on the ground, she's going to start hitting you for 200s. Make sure you use freedom and get back up. Also, now is a good time to use anticipation. You can eat when you're stunned, so if you see that happening to you, just eat. Now, she will continue to do it even if your freedom is still recharging. That's why you definitely should use anticipation. Now, what you're going to do here is just eat and tank it. You get hit for about 200 magics pretty quickly. I forgot to use anticipation, so I still got attacked. And then once you get back up, stun her again, because she starts healing off of the damage she does to you, and you don't want her to heal, obviously. I think I got stunned 3 times here. It's kind of annoying, but it's really not that big of a deal. And there's the last time. I kept not using anticipation like a noob. But other than that, once you deal with this special attack, it's a pretty easy fight. She has pretty low defense, but I guess all of them do. So, and this is your last fight. Other than for some like fancy quest scene or cutscenes, this is the last part of the quest. Actually, no, I forgot. There's actually the hardest. It's not really a boss, but you have to deal with a Saradomin army sort of deal, and this one's the hardest. You have to protect Juna. So you're gonna go back out in the main room, and you'll see chaos is just everywhere. Saradomin mages and everything are just attacking everything. Talk to the dude in the middle, and you'll ask him what happened. And here it might be helpful to have a ranged weapon. I was too stupid to use my ranged weapon the whole time, but it's okay. Now basically what you're going to do is you're going to talk to Juna. She's in like this big wall. 3 portals will show up and they're going to start attacking and trying to kill Juna. You'll see the bar in the top left corner. It'll say time elapsed and Zuna's health. You need to make sure that time bar goes all the way to the top before Juna dies. It's kind of like the ghost rooms, the monolith rooms you get in Daemonheim when you're dungeoneering. And now the Meliors and the Majors, they like to attack the walls. They can't get to Juna if the wall's there. I don't think the Rangers or Mages can attack over the wall. So you can keep killing them, but make sure you protect the wall. And you can see there they broke the wall, so now he can attack Juna. What you're going to do is when the wall breaks, you can spam click on it, repair. This will take a good amount of time to fix. I don't know why, but it takes a long time to repair it. So that you can climb over the wall like I did, but I didn't mean to do it, and I definitely recommend staying on the outside so you can actually kill the stuff as it comes in. And make sure you watch out for the 3rd portal. Sometimes it's easy to focus on just 2 of the portals, but you always have to remember about the 3rd portal. So make sure you keep your eye on that. So I just start killing everything. As you can see there, they've broken through the wall twice. So now they can all attack Juna, and they do pretty good damage on Juna. It's actually a much closer call than I would have liked it to be here. So when this happens, get them all aggressive on you and repair the wall. Just spam click on the wall to repair it. And only attack the things that are attacking Juna. Don't worry about anything that's attacking you, because they won't be doing any damage to you, hardly at all. You will want to kill them though, because they will start to turn on Juna after a while. You can see there I ran over here. I forgot to fix that part of the wall, and after a while they will start to mage over the wall. As you can see, Juna's health is just going way down, and I'm starting to freak out here. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. At least I know what to do now. I'll just get it done next time. But the time bar goes up a lot faster than it looks. It goes up in pretty quick increments, and you can usually use about 1 basic ability to kill one of the dudes. So if you can see here, I'm spamming it, but it takes a long time. So it's much better to just make sure the barrier doesn't break. And yeah, you just hope that time goes up. I got pretty lucky here because the time went up at like the last second, right as she was about to die. And yeah, so it was pretty close. This is the hardest one because you're running everywhere, but I definitely recommend using range so you can stay in one spot. But melee did happen to work for me, so you can see the time goes up at the last second right before she dies. You will not be fighting Zilliania. She'll stab this dude, and it's kind of harsh. Now this dude gets all mad, and he starts yelling at her, and she throws him. It's kind of weird. I always thought the Ceradomas were supposed to be good. Clearly they're not. Then all these Maserati, you'll even see Nex. Nex is there. You know, don't worry, you won't be fighting Nex. But everybody wants Guthix's power, so everybody's going to be there. But you are done killing things for now. You're just going to go through this cutscene. I'm going to speed up the next part because it's all cutscenes. You're pretty much done with the quest here. So once you get to this part, all your work is done and you're good to go. So yeah, I'll just speed this up really quick. So once you get to this point, you'll have a select option. You'll have 3 options. It doesn't matter what you choose here, but it does determine which item you get later. But if you don't like the item, which is only for cosmetics, you can change it back. So don't really take a big deal now. This hole will break open and everybody will race to get to Guthix. Now, you will take some damage here. You'll see like these black just these dark areas on the ground will show up, and you're just gonna run through and eat. And now that's Guthix. He's like super ugly. I guess the graphics do look good, but I would have expected him to look a bit less weird. And then that guy will kill him, but so Guthix dies. Not even kidding, Guthix dies. It's kind of weird. You talk to him. You have to go out on the edge of this platform to talk to him, and you'll be taken away to this place that looks kind of like the RuneSpan. Now, all you're going to do here is talk to him in this smaller form, and then he'll teleport and run up the path. Just run up the path and talk to him. He'll talk about his experiences as a god. And if you want to follow the storyline, I'd recommend reading it, but I didn't, like I've said many times before, for the sake of time. You can see there's a dead god there. It's kind of creepy, but once again the graphics just look really cool here. So just kind of follow him around as he talks. It's kind of after all the boss fighting and fun you've done before in this quest, it's kind of a bit of a letdown to just now be at this point where you're just running and talking to him. And he's gonna go to his old house. I think that's his house. And he's gonna rest there. I choose the first option. Once again, it doesn't matter. And then Guthix dies. It's pretty harsh. And so now you're just going to keep clicking. Once again, doesn't matter the options you choose. Just choose what sounds best to you. And Saradomin will show up. And now it's like crazy, because you've got a bunch of gods. So talk to Saradomin. I think it actually takes you right to it. You don't have to click on him. And you're going to tell him about the gift that Guthix gave you, because you're like invulnerable to his force field or whatever. And once again, just choose the same options you had before. But once again, it doesn't matter. Now Ziliana and all of them will run away. Talk to Juna, and the quest is complete. So now for the XP rewards, there's a lot of XP, especially for a quest that's so simple and has such low requirements. However, the rewards don't have low requirements in themselves. You can get up to 350k prayer XP if you're level 90 plus, and 250k comes from an XP lamp, and the other 100k comes from praying at Guthix's altar if you go back into the tunnel. You can get up to 110k Slayer XP, all from one lamp if you have 70 plus, and if you have 74 fire making, up to 50k fire making XP, and this all comes from going and lighting stuff in Guthix's tunnel, so you'll have to go back and do that yourself. And then also you get 3 110k XP lamps for all skills 75 plus, but you can't use all of them on the same skill. They all have to go on different skills. And then same for the 50k XP lamps, and these are only for combat skills, but only 65 plus. So yeah, there's a lot of XP rewards, like around 800k XP just for doing one quest, and it takes like an hour, so it's definitely worth doing just for that. But these aren't the only rewards that you get. There's other stuff that you get too, and none of this is XP rewards, obviously. The first thing you get is Juna's, Ziliana's, or Azanadra's gift, depending on which you chose during the quest. At the part where you choose like 3 options, it'll tell you follow Zeros, Saradomin, or Guthix. And I chose Zeros because I think it looks the best. But if you don't like it, you can change it later. If you've completed Ritual of the Maserati and the Chosen Commander, you'll also get access to the 6th Age Circuit. And this is just an untradeable ring that has the stats of an Onyx Ring Eye, so I really wish I would have gotten it. But I can't be asked to do Ritual of the Maserati right now. And then you also will get access to the Automaton Slayer area. I believe this also requires Ritual of the Maserati and the Chosen Commander. And this requires 67 Slayer as well. And then finally you get 5 new Ultimate Combat abilities. And these don't have any other further requirements other than 85 attack, strength, ranged, mage, HP, or defense. Obviously that has to do with whatever style of ultimate ability it is. And other than that, that's a pretty long list of rewards, but that's about it. And that wraps up this guide. I hope it helped you guys out. I hope you guys can complete the quest, because it's really a fun quest. If you can do it now, I definitely recommend doing it right away, because it's such a good quest. Jagex did a really good job at it. It was so good that I even took a break from 07 to come do it, and then I did it and I just got hooked on it. So definitely do it, get that XP, and have some fun. I mean, it's a really fun quest. So hopefully this helped you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it was a bit long, but it is a grandmaster quest. So and other than that, if you like the videos, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you want more videos, and I hopefully will see you guys in future videos.